Okay, we went to a few different estate sales. Let's see what we got. Some Hallmark ornaments worth about $10 to $20 each. There's also this lovely Dayton's department store brass angel piece that's worth about $40. And these Disney ornaments worth about $10 to $20 a piece. It depends. Some of them aren't worth that much. Unique pieces that are rarer and older tend to be worth a little bit more, but I didn't see anything really unique there. Over here, there are some vintage carolers that are standing here. These kind of figure dolls on wooden stands. These are worth about $20 each. Again, there are much finer examples of that sort of thing that are worth more, but those weren't the best. And then over here was a lot of Christmas. Always take the time to look through Christmas ornaments. You never know when you're going to find a beautiful Christopher Radko, hand-blown glass piece worth hundreds of dollars to add to your collection. And then over here, these beautiful coal ports. 1915 coal port pitcher on the right there with the floral and the gold gilt, worth anywhere from $140 to $200. A Milton Glasser print just flew by, that Flowers from New York original from 1982. That's worth about $300. Japanese silk tiger, 1950s to 1970s, somewhere in there. That piece was worth about $100 to $200. So beautiful art in that home. And on to the next house. So in here, I think the first thing I came across that kind of caught my eye was this costume jewelry. It was priced near to retail for most of these pieces. None of them were authentic pearls or really fine designers that made them worth quite a bit more. Also, the silver on them wasn't very good silver, either by manufacturer or weight. So everything was about retail. The boxes were anywhere from $35 to $70 each, and not really worth picking up for myself or to resell that day. As you can see, they had quite a bit of it. Sometimes estate sellers will bring in merchandise from other places to sell, and I think that's what was going on there. So over here, we have just a little area with some knickknacks. This beautiful little Homeco porcelain elf by the Mushrooms. Pieces like that can do really well online, anywhere from $20 to $40 on that, depending on how many others are available and the condition the piece is in. That's really adorable for cottagecore and fantasy core collectors. This knight statue, you guys, I'm going to go $3,000. I didn't have time to look at it very closely, but I know it's worth at least that. That's a 1950s Panama statue that was marked and described there on that little tag. $1,300 on that. That's what they were asking for it. I don't know the value of that piece. Again, I didn't really look very closely. And then as we move into the kitchen, I found a piece that unfortunately I did buy because it was listed at $8. I thought it was beautiful. Right here, this Peruvian carved gourd. This is actually a gourd that's been dried and then has all these beautiful figures etched into it. Unfortunately, it got put in the SUV in a weird way, and it got completely broken on the way back to the shop, which was really a shame. And then here we have a Chinese cloisonne vase. I think they were asking like $10 or something on this. These are worth anywhere from $60 to $100. I picked this one up because it was a finer example of the craft. It was a very nice one. And then I'm looking through some LPs over here, that is vinyl records. Unfortunately, there was nothing great in this stack. I had another home I went to this day, and I didn't include the recording because it was so sad. I found beautiful Disney collectible records that I was going to purchase. I had them on a hold table, and someone actually came and stole them off the hold table and purchased them. And then the seller who allowed that to happen wasn't really taking responsibility for it having happened, even though they were demanding people use the hold table. So I kind of said, you know what? I think I'm going to leave all my purchases behind then and not get anything here, because it was not awesome. And they didn't handle it very well. So if you're in business, just be aware of, how you treat people and how you behave while doing your business. Those Wedgwood pieces, very cute. $30 to $60 each on those. Again, finer Wedgwood cups. So the teacup with the saucer in the original packaging. Some of the older pieces with it depends on the piece and its release, can be worth $100 or more. Outside here in this house, There was beautiful brass statuary and aged copper statuary. You see those horses over there? Incredible metal castings. The horses were not for sale. They were being taken to another property immediately. I did ask. But I did actually end up picking up some beautiful Italian pieces of cherubs holding fish and that sort of thing. And they were at incredible prices. I think we paid anywhere from $100 to $400 each, and they were all pieces worth $1,000 to $3,000. So very nice find there that day. The pool at this particular estate was just so interesting the way it was set up. And they had all these fountains around it. And then it was also covered by a canopy system, which you don't often see in this area of California. So just really nice collection that someone had clearly put together just to place around the pool. Probably took a significant amount of time to find all those Italian pieces and statuary pieces to put there. And then I'm just kind of glancing at this little saxophone. Some wrought iron and metal figural artwork can be valuable. Always keep an eye out for that. Going back inside, I think the next thing you're going to see that I really paid attention to, such beautiful floor vases, but I do not have the means of transporting those, so I did not look very closely. Up here, above, I think it was above the kitchen door, there was a 4-panel Vietnamese mother of pearl inlay art. It was just so beautiful. $300 plus on that if you were to purchase it. And then just, oh my gosh, look at that blue rabbit jumping. That's adorable. Moving back through the home, you see oh yeah, I remember I walked into this room. Again, I am sure there was a lot of Peruvian collectibles in here. The dolls seemed pretty fantastic. I did not spend a lot of time in this room, you guys. When I glance around through heavy textiles, I'm looking for very specific things like needlepoint pillows, vintage towels, things like that. And they didn't really have any of that there. And I did not want to spend the time on this day looking really closely at every single thing. I thought that might be a gunned gorilla worth about $40 or orangutan, but it didn't matter. I didn't bother to check the tag because the hands and feet were in really poor condition with the outside of the material that was used on them, the kind of pleather flaking off. So not really worth looking further into to decide whether or not it was worth buying. And then moving through some electronics here. Little tape deck player. I have purchased so many of those in the past that do not work and cannot be refurbished. So sometimes I won't even bother, especially if I don't have batteries on me to test them that day. And a lot of the times that takes too long to do while you're walking through a place. So I'll just kind of leave them behind. Beautiful woodworked hutches here and just display system, just absolutely gorgeous, where this person kept their record player. Very, very pretty. Again, I looked through the records, no great records there. And then I think this might have been a third estate sale that we went to. Yeah, I think it was another house. So here there's a brass kaleidoscope. These are worth about $200, you guys. Just so you know, they're not children's toys. They're beautiful pieces. Absolutely gorgeous display of books that they had taken the time to price each one individually, which I really appreciated. I think I bought 3 or 4 books from this display that they had done. Kudos to that estate seller for taking the time to do that. You'll earn more money doing it that way, and you make it faster for every shopper, and you can keep an eye on everything that's valuable. I had a great time looking through these pieces. I picked up quite a few, like occult pieces and Oddfellows and Freemasonic books. Very fun. And then, let's see, what was after the books? I'm trying to remember. I think it was a print that I really liked, like a Grateful Dead print. Somewhere over here. Oh, look at all the little knick-knack artifacts, you guys. Absolutely beautiful ceramics and woodworked pieces. Just really pretty. Cut to clear glass that you saw there in the blue. just kind of passing through the kitchen. Fitz and Floyd, usually marked omnibus when it's these older pieces. I might even show you. I think I might. Yeah, I had a free hand. There you go. That one actually says Fitz and Floyd. Sometimes they'll say omnibus. But all three of these are Fitz and Floyd platters. Nice collection that they had. Oh, there's the Grateful Dead print. That's worth about $70 without the beautiful matting and frame. So anywhere from $120 to $200 on that. And then, oh, over here in the corner, Royal Winton Julia Floral Chintz, worth about $100 each. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.